Hey guys, thanks for joining me. We're going to be talking about another security feature which allows you to wrap controls around an email that prevents data leakage. Specifically, when an email is sent, how do you keep it from being forwarded on or printed? Here we go. So let's talk about this one. Office 365 has a built-in feature which is part of what's called Microsoft Information Protection or Azure Information Protection. This allows us to wrap security controls around data. Taking this one step further, email. So very commonly we email sensitive information to other people, and we need the sound of mind and the security to know it's not going to go anywhere that we don't want it to go. How do we do that? When data gets out into the world and it's not done in a controlled fashion, it's called data leakage. Usually it has to do with sensitive information, as with financial information, or let's say employee information. I do a review on my juniors and I forward that to HR. I want to make sure that that data is secure within the confines of the business. For example, I want to send an email to a partner company and I want to ensure that that is not going to be forwarded to someone else. Maybe it's financial data, personnel, or perhaps maybe it's even a sales deal. Well, we can now easily put that security wrapper around that data and prevent it from being emailed or forwarded and or printed. Let's get started. Prior to getting started, we're going to need to check out one of these 4 roles that I have on the screen. Once you have been assigned one of these security roles, go to protection.office.com in the Compliance and Security Center. You're going to then kind of drill down into classification and sensitivity labels. We're going to create a brand new label, give it a friendly name. I'm going to take this and just for time's sake, I'm going to apply it across all of these. So we're going to do next. Now our scope is going to strictly be email. So we're going to uncheck groups and sites and leave files and emails selected. Next, we're going to select the option encrypt files and emails. We're not going to mark content. That's really for another use. In here, we're going to, under the configure encryption settings, we're going to select let user assign permissions when they apply the label. Now again, this is going to be in their Outlook, whether online or in their Outlook client. They're going to select the label and we're going to apply this strictly to Outlook. Do not forward. So that's going to again prevent someone, it literally grays out the box where if they try to click forward, it will not go. All right, I'm going to go through the rest of these. So we're not doing any sort of auto labeling. The protection settings for groups and sites, again, for SharePoint, for Teams, for OneDrive, we're not using that. We didn't select it at the beginning. And then we're also not using auto labeling for this new feature for databases. You can review your settings here. Here are the names, the descriptions, etc. Our scope is file and email. We do use the option for encryption. All right, so we're going to create that label. It'll probably take a few moments for that to get generated. We'll get a success here in just a moment. So it's been created. Very good. Okay, so now we have our brand new label, and now what we need to do is publish this label. So clicking on the label, you have the option publish label. You can also delete it. You can also come up here and say publish label, okay, or publish labels, or you can go over to your label policies, but we're just going to do it, keep it really simple from here. We're going to come in here and select the label. We're going to do next, and we're going to include everyone. You can target to specific groups if you want to, say the marketing team or the vice president or senior leadership, etc., etc. The remaining of these options really are not going to be applicable for us. So let's just keep going here. Provide a simple name for this, and I'll do the same thing for the description. And we're going to submit that. And what that's going to do, it's going to take that label, it's going to publish it to all users, making it available for everyone. So we've created our label and published it. So now if you head over to label policies along the top here, you're going to see that new AIP email labels. Now again, I put plural on there just because I'll publish multiple different email labels. Example, another one you can use is encryption. So check out the various settings, the name, etc. It's published. So good, we're all set there. The next thing we're going to do is head over to the download section and download the Azure Information Protection Unified Client. Now, if you take a look here, there are multiple versions that you can download. So be wary of those if you're going to install them individually on people's computers, or if you're going to use something like some sort of systems manager or Intune to publish these or basically remote install them. So once you've installed it, you're going to look underneath uninstall or change program, and you're going to see this Azure Information Protection client installed. Now I just happened to install the most recent version. That worked out very nicely for this demonstration. Now we're going to move on and look at what the users will experience and how this works. As a quick recap, what we've done is we've created our label. We've assigned the settings inside that label to prevent forwarding of email, but it also prevents copying of content, printing it, etc., which is great. The next thing we've done is apply a policy or publish that label across the 365 tenant. In this case, that applied to every user. Now again, you can target specific groups, the marketing department, senior leadership, etc. Okay, you get that. We've now also downloaded the unified client and published it throughout your environment so that users now have the ability to assign a label manually to their email when they want, say, the email not to be forwarded, copied, printed, etc. So now let's head into Outlook to see what this looks like. Let's go. So I've taken the liberty of filling out an email already just for time's sake. This is sensitive information. Along the top, the message ribbon here, along the top, as long as you have installed the unified client, you're going to see this sensitivity drop down. You're going to drop that down and select your new label, and take note at the top, it's going to say do not forward. And it's going to have other information. Recipients can read this message but cannot forward, print, or copy content. This is exactly what we want. Well done. Okay, now I'm actually sending this to another Office 365 recipient, but also a Gmail recipient. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I've gone into a completely different and separate mailbox. Actually, this is a mailbox in a completely different tenant. Here is my email. Now, take note, I can reply or reply all, but I am not able to forward. Let's jump over into Gmail, and wow, I actually cannot even open this message at this point. How do we get in there? What do we do? Well, we click on Read Message. Now, this is an amazing feature that I really like with Office 365. You can do one-time passcodes for people who are not in your tenant. Okay, so I'm going to say sign in with one-time passcode. What this is going to do is it's going to send the Gmail account a passcode, and with that, I can then gain access to the email. There it is. So now I'm going to open up that email. There's my passcode. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to come over here and paste it. Now what this is going to allow me to do is gain access into that email with the content. That is awesome. That is what we wanted exactly. And take a look here. I cannot forward this content from my Gmail account to anyone else. So what has this actually done? This has containerized this email for this Gmail user. Take a look here. He's accessing the email within Office 365. He cannot forward the content. If he tries to open it and print it, he's unable to. All right, guys, so that pretty much wraps us up. This is a very simple and elementary tool that you can provide for your users to heighten security posture. Make use of it. We'll have future videos on how to encrypt email and use that one-time passcode. Anyway, guys, so please leave a message down below, write us, visit our website, or call us. It's at the bottom of the screen. Have a great day, and thanks so much for joining us.